silent.
Hello, everybody.
You like that? See, now the music's going on. It started the countdown. It was silent.
Yeah, I still trying to figure out this whole new setup. Setup.
It's
hey,
like,
Land Shark Picker.
Welcome to the peace and calm of the mental health safe space where the water is flowing, and I don't know, we could do like a guided meditation. Take a deep breath and close your eyes and let's just let it all out. We are ready to do this. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Trying to calm me down, but it is soothing though. The music.
It is. And I had to find some other ones too, because you can upload back in StreamYard different sounds and stuff that you can play. So I'm gonna find some. All right, let's say hello to some of our guests that are in the chat.
Is there a volume on it though? Because the volume of it is much louder than our voice.
Is it? All right.
Tone it down just a little. You can keep it in the background. Makes a nice little wavy. Okay, that's better. Yeah. Because it was overpowering the voices. Hello, Jaslyn. She's in the house. Suzanne is in the house. Actually, you put the list.
I'm catching up. So, Miss Jaslyn. Hello, Susanna. Hey, there's that pixie girl.
Speaking of Susanna, we're going to be on tonight on her channel. So be sure to take a look. What is it? 7 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We'll be on tonight with Susanna. Well, I'll be on tonight.
And then there's the Miss Lightbeam in the chat.
Hi, that's me.
Miss Jasmine says, "Hey, Mom." And Susanna did the thumbs up. And then we got Land Shark Picker, sir. Hello. And then we have that bargain effect guy.
Tony's in the house.
Hi, babe. Thanks for joining. And then we have JRKR. Hello.
Tony's in the house, JRKR.
I actually have a story to share with everybody. Hopefully we get a few more people in, but new day and time. No, so we ended up with that nasty storm that came through last night, and we were coming back from my doctor's appointment. It took way longer than was expected because, well, we couldn't see very far in front of us, so we had to drive pretty slow. It was actually scary, very scary. And so
driving in storms when it's thundering and lightning, and particularly lightning. When there's lightning, I don't want to be in the car. I really don't.
Yeah, I usually have my feet, spread apart a little bit in the car. I actually had them close together. Tommy's neck hurts because he was, making sure that the car stayed on the road because the winds were just horrible. And, he was just tensed up to make sure that we got home safe. It was horrible. I guess the Dells actually lost power. We have some friends that live in the Dells, and they lost power. And then, there we go.
Oh, she dropped the link. Thank you, Susanna.
Yes, she did. And Rapids, we stopped to get those Papa Murphy pizzas, and because we were like, okay, well, the weather's kind of weird, so we're just going to stop for a moment. Hello, Eric. Welcome.
Thank to the show, Eric.
And like the signs and stuff that were across the street literally were bending. And the guy that was making our pizza said, "Oh, we had like 70-mile-an-hour winds here." And then Tommy was talking to his buddy that lives here in town, and he was like, "Yeah, it was horrible." So we were like worried about the pop-up because we have it up, airing out for the summer, and bone dry. Nothing wrong with the pop-up.
If
and
anybody,
the wind was actually coming a weird way. It was coming from the opposite way that it normally comes.
I will tell you this, and this is a warning. If anybody's been following the weather report on what's been happening, it appears that there's a lot of circular cloud formation happening, and it is heading up to that northeast side. So I hate to say this, you guys are going to get a lot more worse storms. We've been getting storms almost every night here in Texas with hail and tornado warnings and I'm sorry. I get confused between watch and warning. Tornado watches. So every night there's been a tornado watch, but it's when there's actually a tornado warning.
Too. You're not the only one.
The watch simply means the conditions may be right. The warning is get the hell out of the way and take cover because the tornado is imminent. So
right.
Tornado watches because the weather has been crazy and it's all going right up to the northeast side. And it's being pushed up there. And right now there's like a lot of cloud. So they're almost saying it appears to be like a cyclone on land happening.
Yeah,
so
it's weird. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tommy was saying that the wind, really, Miss Jaslyn? Tommy was saying that the wind was coming in a direction that it never really comes. You know, the direction. No, I can't remember if it was, I think it was coming from, hold on, let me see. This is how I do things, no laughing here. So Rapids is this way, that's north, south. So it was coming from the east instead of the west.
Oh, so, similar to how the moon was backwards when the eclipse happened.
Something like that. But no, seriously, it was coming from the east, not the west. Usually it comes from the west, not the east. So it was, I had to because I know which direction Rapids is because that's north. I mean, we go north for my doctor's appointments. The Dells is south of us. And then, you know, so I'm always like,
Eric said it's been windy as hell and showers in Indiana. Eric, it's going to get worse. The storm, if you're watching, I've been watching the storm chasers the past few days simply because we've been getting way too many. Wait, Melanie, I literally thought you said watch out for the tomato watches. What are you making? Some nice sauce and some pasta sauce with those tomatoes?
Oh, homemade tomato spaghetti sauce. That would be really good.
Tornado watch. That's what we were talking about. Hello, Bud Files. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, hello.
Pages, Films, and Plastic. Welcome to the show. Now, Pages, we are. Too. Oh, okay. I was just going to say we're on Shamrock's side, so anybody who's on my side, hello. But just in case if you're wondering, we're streaming on 2 channels right now.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Speaking of the wind, it was like I said, it was really windy yesterday, and I made the comment to Tommy, I'm like, this is worse than Vegas, you know, at points because they have all the sand and stuff. And it looked like a sandstorm when we were leaving to go to my appointments. And then when we were coming back was when it was horrible with the rain. I mean, it was just really messed up. And we didn't know if we were going to have power or not when we got home. Yeah. So I was like.
And I said to her, I'm like, let's just cancel the show, get home safely, because she was worried about how. I'm like, well, just do it another time, and she chose to do it today. So to answer the question, this isn't a new date and time. It's just simply because of the storms.
Yes, very much so.
And next week is going to be a little crazy as well because next week I'm going to be going to New York. So I'm spending 4 days in New York. In fact, I should almost say Susanna. No, but I'm spending 4 days in New York. I'm on a very tight schedule, but
and then you come back on the 29th?
Monday, yeah, whatever Monday that is, if that's the 29th. 28th,
and you're probably going to be jet lagged.
Well, my flight is leaving at 4 a.m. in the morning on Thursday. So I'm taking a 4 a.m. morning, and it takes me 3 hours to get to the airport. So what that means is I'm not even going to be sleeping that night. I'll be sleeping on the plane.
Ooh, you're really going to be jet lagged when you get there.
Chicken Parmesan. I'm coming over for dinner, Susanna.
Right? Tommy makes a good chicken parm.
Yes, Jasmine.
But I'm sure that Susanna's is really good too. I'd love to try her chicken parm.
She makes amazing food. Jaslyn,
Oh,
that little kitty was a treasure. She's in a mood today. She keeps coming and bringing me over little presents that she's finding. So she just wants attention.
yeah, that's usually how they are. They're
And
sassy.
you know what it is? They know I'm leaving them alone for 4 days. Like, what a bad mommy I am.
That's how Pickles gets too, though. You know, and
Fun.
Gabby, we can't. So we were gone yesterday for my appointment. We came back, and she was like acting like we had left her for years. And I'm like, really?
I will tell you, if you leave, and you will cry if you leave a video, because they will howl at the door waiting for you to return. You leave
Right.
the house, your animals are literally howling and crying. And I'm upset because I just bought a security system for the house. So I have to set it up where I'm going to have, this way I can keep an eye on things while I'm gone. But the idea that my cats are going to be crying and looking for me and like, oh, my babies.
Make sure you have like a radio or something playing so that they have sound. That's what we have to do with the birds. Not so much Gabby. Gabby. But if
able
we
to talk
leave for a couple days.
The security system, I could talk to them and has a sound capability.
That's cool. We have one of those too, but it's on our porch.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello, Spirit. Welcome to the show.
Hello. No, we just had really bad storms last night, so we rescheduled it for today. Now Tommy wants chicken parm.
I want chicken parm. Yeah.
What is Jaslyn?
Everybody talks about food, and you start getting hungry, and you want to have food.
Yeah, I'm just munching on my Junior Men.
I can't stand it. I don't like those things.
They're soft.
It's the mint. Because you know what it is? All right. I feel like you're chewing on toothpaste. That totally ruined the idea.
The chocolate hint, or the hint of chocolate on your toothpaste. That's kind of interesting.
That's how I feel, because when you start chewing on it, it's like same thing with like the York peppermint patties. I don't like those things.
Those are a little harder to eat, but at least at this point, May 15th will be different.
Jocelyn says food makes her happy. You know what? It's when you get too happy and you end up getting like me, where it's too much food.
Or me. Food doesn't agree with me, but I don't care. I love it anyway.
Which, you know something, I'm not trying to be a downer, but I will say this. I feel like one of the worst addictions, not that I'm diminishing any addiction, but is food addiction. Simply because you need food in order to survive. So it's like, even if you're addicted to food, you need it in order to survive.
And there's 3 different eating disorders. And so you have bulimia, you have anorexia, and then you have binge eating. Yeah. And so it is real things that happen, and they're not fun. You know, I've seen a lot of videos and stuff where I've even seen lives where, you know, people have had eating disorders, and it breaks your heart, you know. Sugar addiction. Yep. That's what we believe. That actually is a real thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Joey has it. Our son Joey has it.
I think everybody has a sugar addiction, because once you start reducing your sugar and carbs, you will feel that you're getting withdrawals.
Well, no, it's an actual disorder. Tommy, do you remember what the name of it is? It's actually a diagnosable disorder. And it's like somebody who is addicted to drugs. So you literally go through a withdrawal when you cut it out, and it can be really, really bad. Like we had to monitor Joey with it, so we didn't allow sugar other than natural sugar. There's like fruits and vegetables that have the natural sugar, but like stuff like this.
Yeah, you're talking about the white refined processed sugar. That's the bad one. Yeah.
Yep.
It literally is a drug. It's a drug.
It is.
No matter what they say, it's absolutely a drug.
Exactly.
Sex addiction. That could be a problem too.
Yeah, and JRKR is right. You know, it's not like you can stop eating. Yeah,
And I mean,
and that's
like
another
I said,
one. But I personally, at this point, do not want to talk about that addiction.
no, skip that
I'm
one.
not comfortable with it yet, and I don't know much about it. But it is part of, so with the mental health thing, you have this. I'm not even comfortable saying the word. You have shopping, and you have the drugs and alcohol. Those are like the three main ones, and then you do have other ones as well, but those are like
Gambling
the
is
three
bad.
main ones.
Yeah.
And then Tommy's like, yeah, I don't remember the name. We ended up looking it up, and Tommy ended up stumbling across it being a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to monitor Joey with his sugar intake, and it was really, really, really hard. Being a parent of a child who is addicted to sugar and having to hide it, and he would always find it, he would always sneak it, and we could always tell when he had sugar. So, you know, we couldn't necessarily stop buying it, but we had to monitor it very closely with him. And it's bad. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
So, Jaslyn, and Jaslyn is the opposite. She eats sugar, she gets tired and goes to sleep. So yeah, I mean, it's weird how the spectrum and how far apart everything is with that. Eat meat and fat, you will lose sugar addiction and crave. Oh, that's a good idea. Didn't know that.
I can tell you this, and this is me firsthand. I have done keto and Atkins many times in my life, and when I do it, I lose a lot of weight. It is amazing. Not only do I lose weight, I feel healthy. Now, you would think because I feel healthy, I have energy, I'm losing weight, that would be enough incentive to stay with it. No, because the moment I get off track, then the whole food cycle, sugar addiction, everything starts all over again. And you end up gaining so much more weight back. It's like you gain everything you lost and then some.
And that's like, what they say about diets too. You know, you got to pick the right one for you that you're going to be able to stay on for the rest of your life, because once you stop them, you gain it all back plus some.
And that's especially when you do low carbing and when you do anything with, like what he's saying, eat meat and fat. That was the Atkins diet. I'm telling you, that was an amazing diet. Right now, I know mentally I will not be able to handle it. I know in where I am right now in my life, I can't handle it. The moment I balance out my life, then maybe I might consider going back to it and do it on a smaller scale, not as drastic as it's done in the past. But I do recommend, if that's something that people are looking into, he's right. Meat and fat, replace the sugar, get rid of the sugar, and he's like, be a carnivore. Exactly.
All right. So Tommy says, we have a friend with a serious addiction. Gets him in trouble and broke. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Exactly. It does. He and these girls I just want to smack. And then I want to smack him. You know, and I do. He'll come over and he'll start talking to Tommy about certain things. And it's like, dude, you need to just stop. You need to stop. And it gets to a point where if he doesn't respect enough to stop, Tommy will snap off. And then he's like, don't come over until you've worked out whatever the heck is going on. You know, he's a nice guy and all. This is just his addiction. And it gets very frustrating because we don't want to hear it. We just don't want to hear it. And Tommy definitely doesn't want to hear about it. He's like, really? He's like, why? You know, it's just very, very messed up. Very messed up.
They say in all these things, and I'm not talking about just that, I'm talking about addiction as a broad envelope, is that an addiction is a disease. And part of me agrees and disagrees, because I don't want to say the addiction itself is the disease. I want to say it's the mental connections that you created in order to live through whatever you're addicted to. That's the part that's the disease. And I know that's a very subtle difference. And I almost feel like if they focus more on the mental aspect of why they're addicted, as opposed to the addiction itself, then maybe there may be more change than what's happening. Because I feel like they almost glorify the addiction itself.
And the thing, like with our buddy, it used to be short times where he would, Tommy would deal with it, and then he would snap off, and then he wouldn't come over for a bit. And it seems like every time Tommy snaps off about it, like yells at him for it, because you never know where Jaslyn is. This is her house, and he doesn't want that stuff talked about in front of her. Right. So, he's like, dude, you need to stop. My daughter's here. We don't need to be talking like that. And so each time Tommy yells at him, it's longer periods of time where he stops talking about it. And then so he's around for a while, and then he starts doing that. So whatever Tommy's doing to yell at him and how he yells at him seems to work, because the time in between him starting that back up gets longer and longer, which is a good thing.
It creates a guilt. I want to use the term guilt, but that's what it is. It's making him think about what it is that he's doing.
Right. And Jasmine absolutely loves this guy, and she hates it when he's not around. He's like an uncle to her, and he's a good guy. He really is. It's just when he gets on that kick, it's like enough is enough, So Susanna says, I don't believe addiction is a disease. That's just me. See, and I kind of agree with that as well, because, okay, so like people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, they, at least our generation, we've seen what happens to our family members that have these addictions. So you literally know, they pounded it in our heads growing up, drugs are bad. Right? And these people are still doing it. That to me is not a disease. That is a choice that they decided to make on their own, knowing the consequences. But at the same time, you have a few different ways that people can get addicted. Okay? It's not just, at least, from what I've seen and what I remember growing up, stuff like that, you have the ones that are on medication as a kid, and then their insurance runs out. They stop having the insurance, and, they're treated for all this stuff. And then, which we've noticed in our area, and I'm sure a lot of people notice this around their area as well. The big thing in school is you have to have your kids medicated. Okay. Big thing in our schools. I think is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. We growing up did not have many children that were medicated, but now the schools get money. I don't give a crap what they say. Schools get money for every child that's medicated. And did you also know that the school districts, if your child is medicated, they do not count towards the scores for the school.
That's interesting.
So when we moved to Adams, we were like, that was one of the things that we looked at, was the school rating. We wanted a place where the kids had a good school. It was great. Like, it was rave. It was a very high number. And so, it's a good school district. Till we got here. And there were huge medicine cabinets, and I spoke about this when I first started my YouTube channel. 2 huge medicine cabinets full of medications, and it was a revolving door. One child would come in, get their medication, go out, and it was all day, constantly. Couple kids would come in to get their medication, and they tried to bully us into putting Jasmine on medication.
No.
And we ended up pulling the kids out of school.
They force medication too quickly, and I think that's the problem, is where medicine, okay, see, I feel like I'm on the fence, that I'm sitting on the fence when I say this, because I agree that certain people do need medication. I also feel like they push medication on anyone and everyone just because they say there's a problem. And I do believe medicine can help a person that needs it. It can also do terrible things to people, and it's finding that right balance.
Right.
Now, Spirit makes a great point. I don't know if you want to read it or you want me to read it.
Yeah, Susanna, there's some very good books out with brain imaging of addiction. If disease is a change in anatomy and physiology.
That's
Thank you. Then there's evidence of addiction disease.
And
I'm sorry. I think I'm going to have to disagree with that, because in a sense, not all of it, just some of it. Yes, there are good books with brain imaging and stuff like that, but can you really trust the crap that's coming out now? The stuff that you can find on Google? It's you can't trust it all. You don't know what's real, what's not. You know, you can get older books when it wasn't the thing to be sick all the time. But yeah, a disease is a change in your anatomy, in your physiology. But the thing is these people knew, a lot of people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, they knew before they picked it up that what it was going to do. I strongly believe that.
I will say this, because I am on the side, because my whole family, well, I shouldn't say my whole family. I'm a byproduct of addiction. My father was a drug addict. He was an alcoholic. And one of the worst things, if anybody heard this story, is he used to take me to AA meetings all the time. That was our bonding thing. I'm a kid and I'm going to AA meetings. Let's not talk about that. But what I'm saying is, I think they glorify the addiction itself rather than looking at, because I do see it as a disease, but not the addiction part being the disease. The disease is whatever mechanism within their mind has caused them to make an obscene attachment to a specific thing. And it's not just, like I said, it's not just drugs and alcohol. There are other addictions that people have that nobody would have known that was the consequences to begin with at all. And I could go crazy with some of the really extreme addictions that people do have. Hoarding is definitely one of them. And you can't get through.
And you have different levels of hoarding. That's the thing. You have the ones where the house needs to be condemned because it's disgusting. It's piled up with garbage. It's, it's not
safe.
It cannot be livable at all because of how they have their house. Then you have the people who hoard that have, buy 50,000 different microwaves. They're all brand new in the box. They're just stacked. You know what I mean? You have the clean hoarders and then you have the disgusting hoarders. And the ones that...
The mental part is the disease.
Yeah, that is but that was something that... Let me see if I can word this without making it sound really weird or messed up. Okay? Sometimes you're born, your chemicals just aren't all where they should be. And a lot of times that's because of maybe the mom or the dad, something just didn't mingle well while you were developing, or as I always like to say, the bun in the oven didn't bake all the way. Okay. However, so I did see Finding Your Balance. Hello, by the way.
Hi, Finding Your Balance.
They said I was medicated, but I needed it. The problem was I never got any help besides medication. Nobody taught me the skills I needed. Exactly. And that's the problem. The schools now like to medicate so that your child is a zombie, so they don't have to deal with the issues that the child is going through. And as parents, we're helpless because we're told you have to trust the school. No, the school can go stick it. Sorry.
Nothing about school is nothing but I can't even say it. Indoctrination. They're creating a workload zombies. That's what they want. They want work. They want people who are workers.
Right. They want stupid people is what the school districts are doing now. They're not teaching the kids anything. They're medicating them and having them sit in a room. The teachers are glorified babysitters, and it's like, sorry, not having it. You know, I'm not perfect. Neither is Tommy. Neither is anybody else in this world. But let me tell you, my daughter at least knows how to count change and actually do math, even though it's one of the subjects she hates. We went to our Dollar General in town and they could not figure out how much 2 for $3 was separately. Like they couldn't divide it. They had no idea. They had their phone in their hand. Their phone in their hand. Trying to figure out how do we do 2 for $3? How do you like you divide it? Or, you know, normal people would know that's $1.50.
They don't know how to do like 50% off.
He was a manager.
Yeah. It's sad when they can't do like simple math like that.
Yeah, I'm like, and then some of the machines that we've noticed, like the cashier machines, they tell you how many quarters, how many nickels, how many dimes, how many pennies you have to give back for change. They don't make the person think anymore.
That's sad.
It's very sad. It's very disgusting.
We have a lot of comments.
So I'm sorry. But like I was saying real quick so that I can finish up with this, you know, a lot of times too, okay, so you know, Finding Balance said that, you know, he was medicated, but he needed it. Yes, there are children that really do need the medication, but they are over medicated for the most part. You weren't taught life skills. Babe, can you call mom and tell her that I'm on a live, please? I'm hoping that it's not anything bad.
If you need to take it a few minutes, I'll take over and read the comments if you want me to do that.
All right. Yeah. Give me just 1 second so I don't forget the train of thought I'm on. But like I was saying, you know, they were medicated and they weren't taught life skills. So that's where, and he needed the medication. Okay. I get that. However, it's situations like that where, you know, they turn 18, 19, 20. They don't have insurance anymore. And they end up going to other things because they no longer can get that medication that they needed. So in order to take care of that, that's a different, I think in my book, that is a different form of medication or addiction that, you know, unfortunately it happens. But let me take this call real quick.
Yeah, take the call. I'll take over. That's okay. You do what you need to do.
All right.
So, unfortunately, I can't highlight any of it, but JRKR says, and why do they need so many more people in schools? There was a lot less years ago, and kids actually learned. You know something? I think it all begins with the school system, and we can have an entire debate on the school because schools are so much different now than what they were back then. I mean, even nowadays, just look at the whole structure. They won't even allow kids to go on a bus without a parent being involved. Like your parents have to be there to pick up the kid, that they won't release the kids. Me, I walked to school. I had the bus for a short period of time, and then the rest of the time I was on my own just to walk to school, and that's what I did. Schools do nothing more than train people to be indoctrinated and to be zombies and to be ready for the workforce. That's what it is. They don't prepare them for life skills. They don't prepare them with any type of learning things. That's where I see the problem is with the schools. Finding your balance. You grew up with a hoarder and it was horrible. Maybe part of why I gravitate to storage units as a reseller. I was used to cleaning up other people's mess. Now, see, for me, hoarding is a very, very interesting, because I do see, like I said, I don't see the actual act itself as a disease. I see the mental aspect behind it. And with hoarding, it's not like they knew the consequences of hoarding. They became so attached to the item that they can't see themselves being parted with it. And I mean, it's kind of, I hope everything was okay, Des.
Yeah, it's fine. She's got a doctor's appointment tomorrow that I gotta take her to because she won't be able to drive on the way home. So, she was just double checking, triple checking. That's my mom.
And I also, in regards to something like that, I also feel like there's a double standard when it comes to addictions.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you're addicted to, whether you are addicted to hoarding, drugs, food, you could be addicted. I don't know. You could be addicted to gambling. To me, it's still an issue because it's going to cause so many problems with everything else. It's not just the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say we concentrate too much on the addiction itself and not helping the mental aspect of what's causing that addiction.
Right. Now, I know you had taken over and were reading some of the comments and stuff like
I
that.
just finished the one where I grew up as a hoarder. So,
Oh, okay, I haven't gotten to that one yet, but I think they should really look into prenatal vitamins. What do you mean by that, Susanna? Should people take it, or do you think that they need to investigate what's put into the prenatal vitamins? Blah, blah, blah. Let's try that again.
probably causing the issues of why the babies are underdeveloped to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was a preemie, and I was pretty early, and I have birth defects, and I have, just it's I wouldn't say my brain is completely messed up, but I know that growing up, things were more difficult for me than my peers. But I did do my best to kind of try to catch up with everybody else. Kids don't do that nowadays. So, and why do they need so many more people in schools? There were a lot less years ago, and kids actually learned. Okay, do you want to know why they're cramming all these kids into the schools? It has to do with them receiving money for every child that is in school. So if your child misses a day, they wig out. If they feel that it is not an appropriate reason for your child to miss a school day, they will yell at you. They will write you up. Like, as a parent, you will get a truant ticket if your child is not in school and they feel that the reason for them not being in school isn't good enough, because they're losing money. And that's why I think the schools need to be completely shut down and revamped, because it is nothing. The schools do not care about students. They don't care about their students. They care about all the money that they can get from the kids. That's all they care about. And
that's what it is. Your children are a dollar figure. That's all it is.
That's all they are. Yep. Grew up with a hoarder, and it was horrible. Maybe part of why I gravitate to storage units as a reseller. I was used to cleaning up other people's mess. Yeah, so for me, I didn't have the issue of being a hoarder. And I'm not even a hoarder. My stuff is my stuff, and I'm very much get upset with people who try to get rid of my stuff, because I was in a very bad relationship where I lost everything, and it wasn't my choice. So Tommy has come up with a plan when he wants me to start going through my stuff to get rid of it. We actually he will put on the show Hoarders. And mentally, it like does something to my brain mentally, where I'm like, oh my God, that's gross. I do not want to be like that. And I will go and I will start cleaning out my stuff. But that is how he helps me get through it. Not that I'm a hoarder. I would be more like a borderline hoarder, because it's my stuff. Let me do it when I'm comfortable doing it. But then I forget, and it's like, no, that's mine. You're not taking that from me. And Tommy and I have, and Tommy can vouch, I am not a full-blown hoarder.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's going to be sleeping on the porch tonight. No, my stuff is my stuff, and I get very emotional when somebody tries to throw my stuff away because of the relationship that I had been in, and the way that they were with my stuff. So I'm very, and it's a work in progress, when it's
may I point something out? And this is not to knock you or anything, but you just gave a perfect example of why it's not something you choose to be.
Yeah.
In other words, your addiction to holding on to things, whether it's like, okay, so Tommy's saying it's extreme, you're saying it's nothing, but that alone right there shows that not every addiction is something that they knew the consequences of, that they knew what would happen. And I think that's why, and like I said, the disease part is not the addiction itself, it's the mental connections that you created in order to cause whatever it is that you're holding on to.
And let me tell you, some of the crap that I have is literally, I mean, it's not broke or anything. It's crap. I don't need it, but because it's mine, I have a hard time letting go of it. Unless Tommy plays Hoarders for a week. And then it's like, get this crap out of here. But that's how we worked it out. I mean, and it wasn't even like an intentional thing. It's just, it was something that worked personally for me and Tommy's situation, because I know, I know Tommy gets upset with it, but the thing is okay, so it's an example. It's not a real thing for me, but I'm just using an example. Having a collection of these, they're little mechanical pencil leads, if I liked them, I would buy a few and then I wouldn't get rid of them. I'm gonna probably need it, but that's in a sense a way to, I don't even know where I was going with that, because I actually lost it, so I apologize. But the thing is when I went through that situation, everything, my birth certificate, my social security card, everything, my certificates that I had growing up of things that I accomplished, it was all gone. Absolutely all gone. He took it and did what he wanted with it, and it really messed up my head. Now, 20 some years later, it's like, okay, so yes, I do realize that there are some things that I don't really need, but there are times where I'm like, well, we might need that. And Tommy's like, no, we don't need it. And I'm like, we might need it, and it's mine. And I've gotten upset. I've gotten upset with Tommy because he's like, you need to get rid of your shit. And I'm like, no, you're not going to tell me to get rid of my stuff, and it is mindset. It is a mindset, and people who, and that's why I say I'm a borderline hoarder, because I don't have like a whole lot of stuff, but I have a lot of stuff. Not like if you watch the show Hoarders, it's nothing compared to that. That's all in the storage unit.
Now see, here's an interesting thing, because I'm gonna say I'm the opposite side, because I've always been around hoarders. I've always been around hoarders. My grandfather was a bad hoarder. My aunt is a hoarder. I mean, there are people in my life who are hoarders. And I think the hardest thing is to try to help, to say, okay, I'm going to help you clean. I'm going to help you organize. I'm going to help you do this. And the effort is for nothing, because they're always going to keep continuing doing what they're doing. They're always going to keep continuing being messy, hoarding stuff. And as you try to intervene out of love, which is probably the worst thing to do, it turns into, I can't do this. And that's where family breaks down, where love breaks down. And I'm left with the thing, it's like, why do I keep subjecting myself to people who are hoarders? Like, what's wrong with me that I keep ending up in the same situation over and over and over again, where I'm locked in a hoarder situation? And it's like, how am I going to fix this? And that's part of my problem.
Eric said food supply is great.
Influencing
people's health. Yeah, we have a lot of processed foods in America. Lots of processed foods.
Poison.
And yeah, so yesterday I went to my dermatologist, and I have a connective tissue disease. So when I'm in the sun, I get hive-like. It's horrible. Okay, processed foods, smoking, being in the sun, it all aggravates it. So I have to work on the smoking thing, that I know, but we don't have as much processed food in our house as we used to. So that helps. The sun, I have to wear clothes that are 50, what is that, 50 SPF? Is that what it is? SPF. She wrote the wrong thing down. Now I gotta remember what she said. Clothing, I gotta wear a big old brim hat when I'm in the sun, stuff like that. I have to be, my skin's gotta be completely covered so the sun doesn't hit it. And processed food is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's horrible for my health anyway, and everybody's health, because it is. It's poison. They put, what is that?
The dyes and everything in the food,
well, not so much the dyes. It's the stuff that for the shelf life.
Preservatives.
So, yeah, the preservatives that they use is not good for you.
Everything now is fake food. It's not even real food. They're reprocessing it and making it into something similar to plastic.
Yeah, there's a meat that Jasmine wants to try, but it's not meat. Oh, the Impossible Burger. It's supposed to taste just like meat, but it's not meat.
My family gets that all the time at Burger King, and
no.
No.
Yeah. Finding balance. As long as I didn't disrupt class, they didn't care how far behind I fell. Yeah, and then they did that stupid law, No Child Left Behind. And I think it was a good idea with good intent. However, Dollar General is a prime example of why they should never have put that into effect. Because if you cannot take 3 divided by 2 to make $1.50, then you should not have graduated. You should have been worked with more. I was in LD classes because I struggled. I was behind. But I worked my ass off, and my teachers cared enough to help me so I could catch up. And what
they
happened?
Don't do that anymore.
My senior year, I ended up on the honor roll.
Congratulations.
As somebody who has learning disabilities, that is a major, major ass accomplishment. And what they do with the children now is sickening. Oh, and don't even get me started on Common Core. That Common Core math is a joke. My son stopped doing math in his head because of that. Because he was doing math in his head, and he was good at it. But because he didn't show his work, they failed him.
Yeah.
And so he stopped with math. Horrible. Horrible. Tommy says,
that needs to be highlighted. Yes.
They want kids smart enough to do things, but not smart enough to ask why they are doing it. We have conversations. Yeah, we have conversations, especially when we had like that incident at Dollar General with the manager. Oh my God, she was a manager, and she's admitting this stuff. She also admitted that she barely graduated, but the only reason why she graduated is because of the no kid left behind thing. However,
and now she's a manager.
And I'm like, you couldn't find somebody that was smarter. But like Tommy says, they want kids smart enough to do things, but not smart enough to ask why they are doing it. Yeah, it's crazy. But yet they want to throw more money at the problem. Oh yeah, Adams County, where we live, spent $1.7 million on addiction, mental health, drug and alcohol, all those addictions. Do you want to know what my theory is on that?
They're trying to create more addictions.
Bury money, because when it comes to mental health, you have the HIPAA law. You can't disclose their information. So you have no idea. So where is it easy enough to bury money? In the health field.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, that's my theory. And we have seen things in this town that probably will get me in trouble. But let me tell you, the things that happen in this town, which I'm sure happens everywhere, is absolutely sickening to me.
I think they do this just to cause the addictions. They're putting so much pumping so much money into it that they're causing people to be addicted.
Yeah. So here's a good point. What I was trying to say. Finding your balance said medication stopped when I turned 18 because I didn't need it, and cold turkey stopping it was part of why of what.
I was to attempt to unalive myself. That's sad.
Yeah,
We're
and
glad you didn't follow through.
right, and that's the thing. They stop them cold turkey after being on it for years and years. You can't do that with that kind of medicine,
No,
because things like this happen, or they turn to street drugs. And now street drugs are even worse than they've ever been because they have fentanyl in it.
And medicines nowadays causes even more problems. You take one medicine, it causes a whole mess of it. So then they're like, oh, we'll take this on top of that. So now you have another.
Side effects are worse than what the actual problem was. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Kids can't walk. Are you crazy? LOL.
That was me saying that. That's me walking to school, because nowadays kids are not allowed to walk alone or take the bus alone. They have to have a parent there to pick them up.
But I kind of like that one. That one I do kind of like. For the simple fact is we have a lot of crazies now. I mean, I'm sure it's been like that forever. And, with having the internet and having, access to Google, and even though you can't trust half the stuff, but just having access to the world around you through your computer, through your phones, a lot more stuff is being brought to light, and kids really aren't safe anymore. Especially with all this stuff that they're talking and spewing out about this and that. When it comes to kids, yeah, but in the sense too, I think another reason why I would definitely do that, picking up my kids and stuff like that, is because my mom walked me and my brothers to and from school every day when we were growing up.
But here's the thing, she had the opportunity to do that. What about like single parents or anything like that, where now the school is forcing them, well, you have to take your child at this time, you have to pick them up. Where it used to be, I was part of the latchkey generation.
Yeah,
I had the key to the house.
I was too, honestly.
Yeah, it's like we had the key home. We walked home by ourselves. We opened the door. We sat down. We watched cartoons, and that was our day. Now they won't even allow the kids to do that at all.
See, Tommy and I actually were just talking about latchkey kids. We actually were. That's so funny. The thing is, okay, so, my mom walked us to and from school every day until we moved to Wisconsin. And then, we were still in elementary school, middle school. Yeah, elementary school. When we moved here, I was in my elementary school. I was in 4th grade. And it was the end of 4th grade, I believe. Or maybe the beginning of 4th grade, something like that. Anyway, the schools, my school was on one side of town, closer to the house, and my brother's school was on the other side of town. So she would drop us off and pick us up. Then at the age of 12, my mom got a job. So both my parents were working. I came home from school. My brothers would come home from school. I would make sure they had sat down, were doing their homework. I would watch my 2 shows that I watched, Kids Incorporated and Mickey Mouse Club.
I remember Kids Incorporated.
Right? So yeah, those are the shows that I would watch while my brothers were doing their homework. And my mom had already, had dinner situated so that all I had to do was put it in the oven. If I had, my chore was laundry. So my mom would wash it, put it in the dryer. Then she would leave to go to work. And then I would always check the dryer, and I would pull out the clothes in the dryer, and I would sit and watch my 2 shows, folding clothes. So I wasn't just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, but I was, folding clothes, making sure my brothers had, they were doing their schoolwork. Sometimes that was a pain in the butt, but it's just how it was, growing up. And I would get dinner put into the oven, and then my dad would come home about between 5 and 6, depending on his day. He owned his own business. He was a drywaller, so it just all depended on, when he was done with his job for that day. And then he would come home, and then my mom would come home later at night. So, so we were, so what, about 3:30, we would finally get home from school until about between 5 and 6. It was just me and my brothers, and then my dad would come home, and then my mom would come home, and then, it was just how it was. So I guess I would be technically a latchkey kid.
But you can't do that now. They won't even allow you to be by yourself anymore. It's now considered child abuse if you leave your child home alone now.
Yeah, that at a certain age. Like at a certain age, it's even back then at a certain age, you don't want to leave your kids home alone. They're not, and parents did, but we were more responsible, obviously, when we were younger because our schools were a lot better. Our parents had to do what they had to do, and we knew how to survive for the most part until our parents got home. It was no big deal. Nowadays, kids can't do a lot of things that we used to be able to do. So,
but whose fault is that? Is it the parents' fault? Is it the school's fault?
No, I think it's more the school's fault because the school is filling kids' heads with BS. I honestly do. I blame the schools. There are parents who are responsible for how their children turn out, but 9 times out of 10, it's because of what the school is doing to the kids, not what the parents are doing. So parents can only do so much, but they're at that school and they're filling. School isn't even about school anymore. It's about politics and money and what they can get from your child and the time that they have them, And so, but yeah. Next, I agree. The addiction's a symptom of deeper problems. Exactly. Exactly. And we knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Investing it.
I
know.
Investigating it. That was investigating.
Yep. So I think so too. I really do. Formula is not good for babies.
Does anybody realize
now is not?
The formula now is over $100 per bottle. I don't know if anybody realizes that. It used to be a small little thing. It's $100 for one bottle of baby formula right now. That's the current price.
Yeah, Jaslyn had to have formula. It was a thickener type formula. So I would breastfeed her, and then I would have to give her a bottle of, not much of it, but that stuff was expensive. It was $80 for a little can of this formula. Granted, it lasted me a while because it was only she would only have it after I would breastfeed her when she was a baby. And that was to help to keep the breast milk down because she had a loose, between the intestine and the stomach, the little flap, it wasn't sitting right. So when she would eat, she would get sick. And so this would help kind of weigh it down and so she could get nutrients and stuff like that. But seeing the formula prices now, that's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like, time to go back to breastfeeding. I'm telling you, people. And with Joey, I had to drink lactose-free milk because he was lactose intolerant. So I had to drink that soy crap. It was disgusting. But because he was my son, I did it. I could only do it for so long, but I did do it. I was wondering why they needed so many more teachers and administrators than they used to. It's all money related.
Yeah, but they're always saying that there's a shortage of teachers.
Tommy. Cherokee is laughing. Hi, Tammy. Welcome. Choice. A collector of shit, classified borderline hoarder. She has paid bill receipts from 10 years ago. We have shit in closet she hasn't seen us.
That sounds like hoarding.
Hey, the bill thing, let me tell you, sir, I'm protecting my butt. That's the whole bill thing. Yeah, we have things in closets. We're actually going through closets now, and getting rid of stuff. So, I'm getting it. I'm a work in progress, man.
I will tell
what
you
I've
this.
done so far.
Wait. I will tell you this, okay? I'm going back to New York next week. For me, this is going to be a rare time capsule because I have not been in New York for 12 years. My mom shut my bedroom door and pretty much has not opened up anything in there for 12 years. I left a whole bunch of stuff in New York before I came here. So I cannot wait to see what I left in New York. Like, to me, this is going to be... It is going to be such a time capsule for me because, like I said, it's been like 13 years since I've been in my room, and to actually open it, and she left it exactly the way it is. Like, everything is still there. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have a big sale. Everything's getting sold, but...
That's funny. Yes, but will you remember where the thing is? Probably no, because we bought things. Okay, funny story. I'm like airing out all my dirty laundry here. So that's the problem. We buy things like we're gonna need it. We set it aside thinking, okay, this is where it gets moved, and we can't find it. We have to go buy it again. Hence why we're going through closets and stuff like that, because we don't. Tommy's not buying any more of the stuff. And I'm tired of buying it too, knowing that we have it somewhere. So, Susanna says, I so would be a hoarder of diamonds. That would be a very good hoarder. That's lots of money there. But would you be able to sell them? That's the thing. Would you be able to sell the diamonds? Or would you just keep them? Because they're worth more if you sell them than if you keep them.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Right? You don't have boxes of 20-year-old trash in cases. There's something you need in it, so my mom did. Yeah, I keep empty boxes. Does that make sense? Like, if we buy something, I'm worried that we're going to need it, or if we move, I want to put it back in the box. So I end up keeping a lot of empty boxes. Like, Jasmine just brought all this stuff out of her closet, and there was a shit ton of...
filling.
What's that?
I said use it as packing stuff to protect anything you gotta ship out.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why I keep empty boxes of things that we buy. I can't explain. But yeah, there were a lot of empty boxes up in her closet, and I didn't realize it. So, and then Tommy's like, there's a lot of empty boxes here, right? And I'm like, no. But hey, at least I'm acknowledging that I have a little issue with it. Hey, it's supposed to be good, LOL. Jazz, I'm sorry, I talk too much, so I'm not sure what that's referencing to. Tammy, hi, Susanna. Landshark says, does @Tommy still BF?
Best friend, boyfriend? Best friend, boyfriend. I don't know what that...
I'm not sure what that means, Landshark. You're going to have to let us know. Tammy says, it's all greed. We're talking about the school stuff, right? I want to make sure that I'm on the same page with that. Spirit Junkie says, I keep all the boxes, papers. It used to be helpful, not anymore. Yeah, and that's what I'm finding out too. Okay. Jasmine real quick says, it was for the impossible meat. Oh. Yeah, well, you can try it and you can let us know, but don't think you're going to live on that because you need meat.
Family only eats turkey burgers, and I can't eat turkey meat. Like ground turkey meat because of that.
Jasmine's pale, so her iron gets real low. So she has to have meat. She loves liver, But I don't know. I don't think she's gonna like the impossible meat because it's not meat. She's a meat eater. She is a big meat eater. And so she takes after Tommy in that aspect. They're both really huge, big meat eaters. I, on the other hand, am not. I eat what I'm supposed to eat, and that's it. And that's usually about the size.
Talking about food, I'm getting hungry.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, the schools and stuff like that. All right. So we have 11 people in here, and I know we've been like, blah 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 blah, running.
You have a story to tell.
I have a story to tell that's of something that happened to me and Tommy on Monday.
I think it's hilarious.
My mom did too. She was cracking up laughing. So we decide that we are going to run and go look at plants. And so we go to Portage. The place is called, and I am going to be tagging them in this, Edgewater Home and Garden, Portage, Wisconsin. Okay? We were there 4:15, and so we get there. We have at least a half hour, maybe a little more, at least a half hour to go and look around the store. So it's a nursery, and it's right next to Walmart in Portage. And so we're walking around. We're in the back in the greenhouse part of it. You know, it's still attached to the main building, but it's, you know, a greenhouse setup. So we're looking at plants. Didn't realize what time it was. Nobody, and I mean nobody, comes in the back and says, hey, we're going to be closing soon. Nothing. So we find 3 plants that we're going to get, and we bring them up to the front. And it's dark. The one door is shut, and it's pitch black in that room, and it says use other doors. So we go, and we're like, okay, that's kind of weird. Tommy's yelling, hello, hello, nobody in sight. So then we go to the door, door's locked. Well, what the hell? Where is everybody? So I'm looking, you know, for the phone number to call them because, well, maybe they're in the office. Tommy looks over, nobody. Our car's the only one in the parking lot besides the 2 employees' vehicles. I'm like, well, where the hell are they? Tommy goes back to the door so he could read me the name of the store that we were at, and the employees are walking to their car. So he bangs on the door. He's like, hello? And they look at him stupid.
They locked him in. Oh, come on, that's so funny.
We were locked in their store.
They locked him.
Come back to the door. Okay? That's not even the worst part about it. Come back to the door, and the guy's like, ha 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 ha, I guess my check didn't work. What? Yeah, he claims he checked everywhere in the store and there was nobody in the store. Well, if you would have claimed that you checked everything and nobody was in the store, then how the hell were we in the store? The lady laughs and says, oh, you guys could have stayed you would have had a great camping spot and you could have eaten herbs for dinner. Excuse me?
You could have stole every single plant in that and just had a field day. Yeah.
Right? Now, they thought it was hilarious. I didn't think it was hilarious. I'm like, you know that you're irritated laugh? Well, that's what I had. I'm like, are you serious? And then the guy proceeds to tell us, oh, we were wondering whose Honda that was. It's parked by the front door of your building. Wouldn't you have thought, hey, maybe we should check the store and announce that we're closed or we're closing? No. He proceeds to tell us, oh, we thought it was somebody who worked down the road. They just parked in our parking spot and walked down to work down the road. What? Seriously? You watched us walk in. We acknowledged you and the lady at the counter. You acknowledge us back, and you never see us leave, yet our car's still in the parking lot, and you checked the store to make sure nobody was in the store.
That could be scary.
It was very scary. Like if Tommy wouldn't have walked back over to the door to get the name of the place that we were at and not seen the employees, we would have had to call the cops.
I mean, that was I was a manager of the store. That was the first thing you do is you check to make sure that there's nobody in the store. You do a quick walkthrough of the aisles.
You walk through the aisles and you also say, hey, we're going to be closing if anybody's in here. No, nothing. He never once came into the back. Not once. He could say all he wants. He did not come and check. I mean, even the way they have their plant set up, you could see the only way in, only way out of this area was through one door. And he did not once come through that door. And then, so we're like, okay, frustrated already. So we bought plants. We bought our 3 plants that we had picked out. And the only reason why we bought them was because they were saying, take me home, take me home. And let me tell you, that's a whole different topic. So we got 3 plants, and it was hold on. So this says 1756. What's military time? I'm not good with military time. What's military time? 1756.
What is that? 556. So that's
okay,
before
556. However, that's wrong because this receipt that they stapled to it says 1810.
Okay, so 610 was when you were checked out, I guess.
Yes, but yet their machine says a different time for the card scan. But yet the receipt from their computer is a different time. And that would be 16 minutes in between.
No. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So their time is off.
Very much so. So, very frustrated with them. And I don't think I am going to want to go back to that place. I mean, eventually maybe it will be funny. But to me, I think it was very rude and disrespectful and very much lack of common sense to see a vehicle parked by your front door and be like, oh, yeah, somebody parked here and walked down to work.
I have a story like that, which I told Des, and because my aunt used to see like crazy things, and we used to just ignore her, like, yeah. And one time we're driving, and she's like, stop the car! And we're like, what? What's the matter? They're like, there's a woman. She's crying. She's screaming. We're like, yeah, whatever. She's like, no, there's a crying woman screaming. And we're totally brushing her off. Finally, to amuse her, we're like, okay, we'll turn around. We'll go look and see the crying woman. We turn it around, and sure enough, in an office building, there is a woman that's at the door, crying her eyes out, screaming, help, because they locked her in the building at night. We called it.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
We should laugh, but it could be scary. If you were locked in, you don't know where it is, you can't get out. We ended up calling the cops. We could have just unlocked the front door and walked out. But one, that would have left their building completely vulnerable. Because they have no alarms, by the way. So when they unlocked the door, they just came in. There was no alarms that they turned off. Okay? 2, if we were thieves, we could have cleared that place out of the plants that they had in there. And they had high-end plants, let me tell you. But we are not thieves. If they were to do that to the wrong person, they would have to close their doors. Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get a discount on our flowers or our plants that we bought. They were like laughing and apologizing, but they were laughing, and I was like, that's really not a good apology.
See,
you know what I mean?
Wait. From their perspective, why should they give you a discount? It's you that inconvenienced them, because then they had to reopen up the drawer, take your order, do all that stuff, and
they should have done their job in the first place. It wouldn't have happened if they would have done their job in the first place.
I know, but that's the way they're going to treat you. They're going to treat you, this is all your fault if you would.
Oh, they do not want to do that, because when somebody pisses me off, I make sure that everybody knows. If I'm not happy with something, I will. And I have a YouTube channel. They don't want to push that luck with me because I will blast them.
I'm like, poor Des, she's locked in. I could just imagine. And she told me the story. I'm cracking up laughing. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the situation because it is funny.
Tommy said we should have just went live from in there and tagged the company.
You should have. That would have been great.
I was too freaked out because it's like, one of two things could have happened. We call the cops and say they locked us in here, and they could say no, they broke in, which we clearly could have shown that we did not break in.
They did that in at some of the gyms. They do that when they lock the people in at the gyms. They'll record from inside the gym saying we're locked in.
Yeah,
so
and I wasn't going to get arrested for that place. I might end up owning that place. I'm telling, no, but seriously, the situation was ridiculous. They didn't do their jobs. And the point, when it comes right down to it, you lock somebody in your business, that's on you.
Absolutely.
You didn't do your job correctly. You should have made sure there was absolutely nobody in that store, and you should have used your voice, not just, I guess my check wasn't good. No, dude, because you sure the hell didn't come into the back. You really didn't. And
the person that was in there, was he just a worker, or was he actually the manager / owner?
I don't know. There was a woman that was at the register, and when we came in,
that might be something to follow through with, is speaking to either the manager or the owner.
Yeah, I would like for Tommy to talk to the manager or the owner of the building, because I don't think that was right. I mean, they had a Monstera elbow that was like, I don't remember, $600 or $800. They have hundreds of thousands of high-end plants in their store, and these two just walk out and not check to make sure there's nobody in the store. I mean, really? And if we were also, people that didn't care, we could have just walked out and they would have never known. It's like ridiculous. And Tommy thinks it's funny. My mom thinks it's funny. Everybody thinks it's funny. And I might be being irrational. Is that the word? With the situation, but I'm not over it. You locked me into your store and then thought it was funny that you did it. Oh, and then she says, now you have a story to tell. No,
you do have a story.
Well, I do have a story, but let me tell you, it's not going to be a nice story. I mean, I might take
I'm on the laughing side of it.
Other people, but you locked us in your store and then tried to act like you checked the store. And then you see our vehicle by your front door and don't go back in the store to check. Like, where were your guys' brains? Nobody is going to park in your parking lot by your front door and walk down the road to work. It's just not going to happen. Come on now. Use your head. You're just trying to cover your ass, and it didn't work. Let me tell you. And it does. It frustrates me, and maybe someday I'll laugh about it. But at this point, it's still very upsetting that it happened, and it may be very irrational, but I don't care. It's how I feel. And with the situation, you don't know what somebody's going to go through and then laugh about it. Like, you don't want to do that.
I know. And see, now I feel bad for laughing. But everybody was.
My mom, oh my God, I told my mom. And I swear to gosh, she was going to have a freaking asthma attack from laughing so hard. I'm like, are you serious, Mom? Really? They tried to kidnap us and you're laughing, and I mean, that's literally like where my brain went. It was like, oh my God, they're kidnapping us or preventing us from leaving. And because we have a conscience and we are decent people, we're good people, not even decent. We're just good people, we're not going to leave your store unlocked and go home.
But see, it's
Like,
stuff like this. It's like it's almost like things happen when you don't want it to happen. Like
however,
you were not expecting that to happen, but yet it happened to you of all people. You know what I
Tony says he watches people all the time go through that, where that
mean?
happens. He never expected it to happen to us. I'm like, however, because, we are good people, Tommy was able, so we went across the street to Walmart, right? And we got a Monstera Thai constellation.
Okay, I don't know what that is. Oh,
It's in the Monstera plant. It's a high-end plant. We got it for $15 at Walmart.
pretty. See, I don't know anything about plants, so when you say,
Oh, yeah, we love houseplants, and we are learning a lot.
Spirit, that's a good point, Spirit.
I'm laughing at her over responding. In my opinion, let it go. If you ever want grace in the future for your shortcomings, move on. I have a lot of shortcomings. My height is one of them. But no, I mean, like, it's really frustrating. These people need to do their job. They really do.
But it's the fact that it happened to you. It's the fact that it happened to you. It shouldn't have happened to you. I mean, I totally agree. They didn't do their job. They didn't do their responsibility. But of all the people to happen to, it happened to you. You know what I mean? That's what makes it funny. Poop happens.
I'm sorry, I think it's a little ridiculous. She says poop, I say shit happens. Yeah, and I get that. It's just how I feel at the moment, and I'm getting it out.
And you know something? In time, don't get upset. In time, you are going to laugh about this. It's just as of right now, too soon.
What I'm saying. It's
too soon right now because it just happened. I mean, in a sense that they did a lot of things wrong.
They did.
They didn't take their
and the nursery is a beautiful nursery. Don't get me wrong. And I really, in a sense, I'm really am glad that it happened to us because we are honest people and we are good people. Spirit Junkie, you're good. You can swear if you want. No problem. I'll just read whatever you write. Well, some words I don't say, but for the most part, I'll say them because I know what you meant. But for them to be irresponsible like that, I mean, it's crazy, really crazy. And I'm telling you, the nursery is beautiful. However, it took me a while to get over going into Dollar General and my spleen blowing up. So I had panic attacks, and so for a while, and we ended up stopping yesterday before my appointment at a different nursery, and that's like our go-to nursery that we go to for plants and flowers and stuff. And we kind of were sharing with them what had happened, and the lady's face was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what happened." Tommy told her, but she's like, "Oh my god," she's like, "That's messed up." That's really messed up.
Gym before. Now, when you were a kid, like when you were like a teenager, or was this like now as an adult? Finally, a janitor came to let her out.
Oh no! Literally, that's crazy. I didn't know that they locked gym doors.
I was in high school.
Oh, and yeah, I don't remember our school ever locking the gym doors. I'm trying to think.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Back then, not everybody had a cell phone, and
we didn't have cell phones when I was in high school.
I didn't get my first cell phone till I was 20 years old. That was the year 2000. That's when I got my first cell phone. Was the year 2000.
Mine was 20. Hold on. 20. I was 26, 27.
And the only reason I got it at 20 years old was because I started dating somebody that lived in New York City, and I didn't want to be on the subway alone without like a cell phone or something like that. But other than that, we never had phones. Cell phones are the size of a shoebox or a small VCR. That's true.
Robbie was telling me that, he was telling me about how cell phones used to be, and I was like, nah. And then he showed me pictures, and I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
You had to be rich to
have that around. You had to put the antenna up. That was, those were the... No, mine was the first flip phone. I had the little flip phone one.
Tommy was telling me he had to show me what that was, because I was like, what? What is that? He's like, it's a cell phone. It's a phone in a bag. I was like, oh, geez. So that was Tommy's, and like he was showing me all different types of the car phones. Yep, that's right. His dad, my dad.
I was thinking the little phone. Yeah,
a brick. Yeah, I didn't see that stuff. Like that wasn't around when I was growing up. I mean, I'm sure it was around, but nobody in our town had one. But Tommy's from the city. I'm from the country. So things hit the city way before they hit the country.
Right.
So, Spirit Junkie says, my rich friend's parents had a VCR size phone. Yeah, Tommy's family, his family was classified the rich family in the neighborhood. But his dad, it was just like him. Finds bargains. So yeah, all Tommy's friends thought they were rich. Just like Jasmine's friends think that we're rich. And we're like, we just know how to shop. So if that makes us rich, cool.
I know. I take that for granted. It's because we're so good at shopping and finding things and finding like bargains and stuff like that we don't realize that for others it's hard to find.
Right. Spirit Junkie, I had a quarter in my bra. I called collect.
Oh yeah, you call collect, you leave the message like, Ma, pick me up, and then just hang up.
It took me a minute to get the hang of it.
You've got a collect call from, Mom, pick me up.
Yeah. It took me a minute to catch on to that, like, because I have a bad habit of, which most of you probably already know from watching, saying too much, and I didn't understand that you were only supposed to say like the main things that your parents would understand. And my dad would be like, will you stop calling, collecting, going on and on and on, just say it's me, or don't even say that because we know your voice. Time to pick up, or pick me up, or pick wherever, library, whatever, and I was like, okay. He would get so mad. He's like, I am not accepting.
Those collect calls were expensive. If they actually accepted a collect call, they were expensive back then.
Yeah, very much so. But when your parents always accept the very first one because you're just learning. Yeah. After that, it was like short, sweet, to the point. That's like when I search on Google too. Tommy's always telling me short, sweet, and to the point, and I'm like,
brick phones are for old people.
You're about to get a brick phone.
I was gonna say, just wait till you're our age.
They're gonna have like ones that are built into your ear.
Wait till the stuff that you get to talk about to you. Yeah.
Right? Like now, I mean, I feel like, what is that movie? There's a movie. Yeah, exactly. Oops. I think a collect call was probably more than a quarter to activate the payphone. Yeah.
It was way more. It was like, I want to say it was a couple of dollars for the call.
Yeah, I think it was like $5 something. I remember $4 or $5. Yes, Jaslyn did have a flip phone. She loved that thing so much that when it started not working properly, she painted it with paint. Took acrylic
See,
paint and painted it, made it her own.
nobody's gonna understand the toggle keys now. Where in order to type out your message, you had to press like whatever. You had to do like 775522.
Okay, so I had to message somebody. I don't know if it was Tommy. My phone was being weird, so I used Jaslyn's flip phone. I couldn't figure out how to use the damn thing. I'm like, because the flip phone that I had was that pink square one from US Cellular, and you flipped it open and it had the keyboard and the screen here. That was the flip phone. Yeah, it was an actual keyboard. It wasn't and then I did end up with a Razor, the old Razor, and I was trying to figure out how to work that sucker, and yeah, it didn't work very well. Yeah, Jaslyn loved that thing. Holy cow, she was so mad. She was upset when it stopped working finally. I think she still actually has it. She's saving it. But yeah, I'm telling you, it was crazy. When my mom passed, she had $100 on a phone card. You used to be able to buy minutes for pay phones. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. But you learn something new every day, honestly.
But yeah, they had plenty of phone cards. It was like a little credit card sort of thing. You had to punch all the numbers in, and it would pay for the phone call and use the minutes.
Well, I know that like when you have prepaid cell phone service, you can do that too, and then you get so many minutes or whatever you paid for that way. But I didn't know they had them for pay phones. Really, Jaslyn, you're grieving your flip phone now?
The memories. Jaslyn, see, you're starting off with the memories of my flip phone. Hey, I remember I used to get those all the time, the phone cards. So.
You're the same age as I am, Mal. How come you remember them and I don't? You're a city girl, though, right?
I'm a city girl, New York.
That's right. Yeah, see, and that is the difference. I'm a country girl. Mel's a city girl. Tommy's a city boy. Mel, however you want to put it. We didn't have rap really wasn't a thing in our town where I was growing up. It wasn't a thing. When it came to our town, the song was probably 5 years old already. Had no idea. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you.
See, that's like me. I can't listen to country. Even down here, I cannot stand country. It's very hard for me to listen to country.
See, and I like country music, and I'm not a big rap person. However, I do like country hip hop. That's what I call it. It's where they take rap and country music and kind of blend them. That's my I don't know the technical word for it, but that's the kind of music I like. I can handle that, but I can also understand the words when they're rapping in a country song than when the rap that they're playing.
And see, I can't understand the dialect when they have a strong country accent. I don't know what they're saying. I make up my own lyrics. And we all know how bad that could be. Tammy's a country girl, but she grew up in a beach town.
Yeah, I mean, there are country towns, little small country towns on the beach. I grew up in the backwoods. We didn't have beaches. We had what we thought was a beach, and it wasn't. It was just a sandy part of the lake, the side of the lake. So I get it. Although tomorrow night on Melanie's channel, I'll be sharing a story about the ocean and myself, and why I do not go in water that I cannot see my feet in.
We're going to be talking about
Yeah.
mermaids, sirens, and the Bermuda Triangle. And I got to do
Yes.
some research because I haven't been doing anything.
I know a little bit, so I'll share what I know. And then I'm going to do some more research as well because so me personally, I like the older stories of like the mermaids and, you know, myth and legends and stuff like that associated with mermaids and, well, pretty much anything. It's like a history to me, but more of the urban legends and myths and, you know, stuff like that. Jasmine says, I'm a tomboy. Oh, that she is. She loves riding motorcycles, longboards, and riding her bike. She's a good girl. She's a good girl. She just likes to do outdoor stuff, you know, lots of outdoor stuff. So she did have a motocross bike. Actually, all her gear's on the couch now. So I'm in a small town now in the
Sequoias.
Where's
Beautiful.
that?
California with the big trees. Absolutely gorgeous.
They got the big trees?
Yes. And I mean, I don't know if you're friends with Tammy on Facebook. She's always posting gorgeous pictures. And I get so jealous. I'm like, oh, it's gorgeous over there, Tammy. Yeah,
Can you move all those trees out of California? No, those trees are gorgeous. I've never seen them in person. I've seen a lot of pictures online and videos online. That is one thing that I would go to California to see are those trees. That is one thing. Otherwise, California doesn't really interest me, except for the trees. Let's see. I will swim everywhere. I'm a water chick. See, I'm a water sign, but terrified of water that is ocean and lake. If I can't see my feet, I'm done. I can't do it. Last summer, Tommy and Jasmine were able to get me further in the water, and I wouldn't let go of Tommy. Oh.
Kitty cat! Hi, baby!
You want to say hi to everybody, Gabby?
Gabby wants attention. Oh, look how cute that is. She's doing that again. She did it the other day where she just wanted to hug you.
No, she wants me to get up and go open the door for her because her fat butt doesn't want to go through where she comes in at. Hey.
Aww.
Hi.
Oh, that's so cute. Uh-oh, what town do you wish existed?
Yep, the giant redwoods.
Look how cute that is. That is a needy cat.
Yes, she is. Jasmine, come get your cat. Yep, it probably doesn't fit me anymore. Yep, the motocross stuff. Giant redwoods. Yes, they're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Cali. You know what town I wish existed? Uh-oh. And I wish it was real. Gabby. Stop. No, I can't with you.
Like, cat, get down. Get down, kitty cat. So wait, you want to be a werewolf?
Yeah, she's coming. She heard the door and she ran.
There you go.
You missed it. I should have turned the camera. Jasmine picked her up and she went, attached herself. Right here.
We are not the crap show of politics here. Oh, we have our moments though, Tammy.
Oh, is it because I don't really have a...
No, we're good. We're good when it comes to politics. I mean, we barely, sometimes we'll speak about it, but we try to be good.
Yeah, the big politics thing, we usually don't touch base on. Our local politics, here and there. Like when we were talking about the schools. Or I was talking about the schools. Beacon Hills, California, from Teen Wolf the show.
That's what I said. Does she want to be a werewolf?
She's okay. So her internet box that she bought, her little cable box thing that she has, which is Ion. So here's a throw out there. If you want a really good streaming box, get the Ion streaming box at Walmart. We ended up switching from Roku to Ion, and we love it.
Spirit,
Yeah, her
her
box is called I Am a Werewolf.
No.
And so, yeah, she's actually writing some books. I don't remember what the I got something. Oh, I got cat hair in my eye. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, I think it's still in my eye. But it's a site that you can take different shows and movies that you like, and you can actually put your own spin to it.
Oh, she wants to be a hellhound instead. What is it? Service.
Yeah. Spirit Junkie said, I need to nap. I'll see you later. Much love. Have a good nap. Tammy says, Cali politics suck. It's all good. Yeah, she likes the hellhound stories. But she really likes the werewolf ones too. She's not so if we were to base this on what our generation, Twilight, she'd be Team Jacob, who's a werewolf. So she's like, no.
I watched the Twilight series, but it was so painful. It really is. Sparkling vampires, come on. Because I love the vampire lore, and to have them ruin it with the whole sparkling vampires, and then the horrible acting of Kristen Stewart, she's just horrible.
Yeah. But I mean, me personally, I like Twilight. I'm a Team Jacob. I've always been Team Jacob. Although Team Edward, I wouldn't be like, if they would have picked somebody else, I probably would have been Team Edward. Not that he did bad. You know, he did all right. The actor that played Edward was all right. But, I mean, it made a lot of money, and it was a great storyline. It just, I read the books before I actually read the movie or watched the movies. And I read all the books. What's that?
I said you probably were disappointed by how they did the movies compared to the books.
Some of them, yes. So, you know, like some of the because they can, and I realize that they can only put so much from a book into the movie. And so some of the good parts that they had in the book that they didn't put in the movie was kind of sad, like frustrating. But I watched the first 3 or 4 Twilights in theaters. And the one where Jacob, now I'm horrible with, because I've watched them so many times, I can't tell you which one is from which one. Oh, Jasmine's Team Edward. My bad. That's only because I'm Team Jacob. But we were in the theater. I was in the theater with my friend Jamie, and we were watching the one where Jacob turned for the first time. I think it's the second or third one. And it was dead quiet, and you know, Bella fell on the motorcycle and she cut herself. It was right when Edward left and whatever, and she was trying to get that adrenaline junkie stuff going on so she could see him because he had left. And she fell and she cut her head open, and he took his shirt off, and in the middle of the damn movie theater I went, oh hot damn. And I was like, shit. And everybody cracked up, and yeah.
I'm watching.
Slipped out.
I'm in the process of watching for the first time Vampire Diaries, which I'm on season 2, like the 17th episode. And I mean, I think it's really a good series. I mean, but it takes me so long because I can't focus on it. I'm bad with series because it's hard for me to focus. So I watch a little bit at a time when I can and keep it on as background noise. But it really is a good series.
What is it called? Vampire Diaries?
Vampire Diaries. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm trying to remember. I don't think I've ever seen that one. Or maybe I've seen 1 or 2 episodes. I think that's one that Tommy...
It was one of those WB type, teenager shows for the WB sort of thing. So, and it's
I'll
it's
have
on
to look.
for it was on for I don't know like 7, 8 seasons or something like that. So it's really
Well, obviously, if I have, because I'm gonna go back into my watch history, because I have like anything that I've watched, I've added to my list on all my different streaming platforms. And if it's on there, then obviously it wasn't good enough for me to remember if I watched it or not. So,
and then the one that I just finished, which I have to admit I really really enjoy, and now it's starting to get like a real cult following because so many people love it. It's an anime called Has Been Hotel, and
oh,
basically it's the story of Lucifer's daughter from hell that she wants to try to convert the people from hell and make them good. So she opens up a hotel in order to start the conversion of making them. And it's a musical. So there's a lot of music, there's a lot of singing.
oh yeah, yeah. Tommy isn't a musical person, and we don't watch anime. So that
But it
one
is really
is.
good. It's and like I said, it's getting a big cult following because it really is so bad, but it's good.
Oh wow, yeah. We Sarah Michelle Gellar
Mm-hmm.
did.
Buffy the
Yeah,
Vampire
Buffy.
Slayer.
Right, but she did a movie on Paramount Plus, I think it is. Let me find out what the name of it is. I do recommend people watching it. However, I am disappointed that they left it off at a cliffhanger, and they're not bringing it back.
I can't stand that.
Wolfpack, and
Okay.
it is on.
Yeah, Jocelyn just said Wolfpack.
Yep, it's Wolfpack, and it is. I want to say it's on Paramount Plus. Yep, Paramount Plus. It's good, and I really liked it, and I love her character. Now, I wasn't too crazy about her being Buffy, but I do like her as an actress, and she is wickedly awesome in Wolfpack. And I'm hoping they'll bring it back because of like the writer's strike and then the actor's strike that they had, and then
Is it a movie or is it a series?
with the series.
Oh, it was a series. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, did I say movie? I meant series. They didn't think that they were going to be able to bring it back until 2025. So I'm hoping that they do bring it back. But as of right now, they could have put a kibosh to it. But they need to bring it back because it was really awesome. And they left it at a cliffhanger. And she's phenomenal in the show. So,
Yeah, I want to say I'm always looking for things to watch, but then I can't focus on watching it. So like right now, my focus is the Vampire Diaries because I can watch it just as background noise while I'm listening or doing whatever. It's pretty good. It's a good story.
yeah.
It has well.
We are watching Web of Lies on Netflix. It's a 6-part series. Holy cow. Talk about wrap your brain around stuff. I told Tommy last night, I'm getting a headache. I can't follow this technology stuff that they're talking about. I can't follow it. It's crazy to me. Oh, yeah. Jaslyn's favorite character in Teen Wolf just so happens to also play in Wolfpack. So she likes that kind of stuff. And I actually watched the show before she did, and I told her you should watch that because I think you'll like it.
She might actually like Vampire Diaries. And like I said, it's geared more towards teenagers because it was on WB and stuff like that, CW, whatever it is. Yeah.
She said he played as the blind alpha in Teen Wolf. I don't know which one that is. I really haven't been able to get into Teen Wolf. I really like Wolfpack. Teen Wolf I couldn't really get into. And so for me, when it comes to these kind of shows, it's got to get my attention in the first couple episodes, or I just can't watch it. And so I know, like, I started watching the originals, and I got so far, and then I was just like, yeah, I can't watch any more of this. So, and I like the show. I would put it on, and I would fall asleep, and then I get so lost. And his name is
Callion? Is that how you say it?
what she wrote in the chat.
I would say Deucalion. That's how I would pronounce it.
Yeah, and I'm sure she tells me, but a lot of times I just can't pronounce the stuff that she says.
I think that's a pretty name.
Yeah, that is a cool name. Not even gonna lie, that is a cool name. I just can't pronounce it. But anyway, she's actually in a writing thing app where with these like different shows and stuff, you can write your point of view of the show.
Oh, like fan fiction sort of thing, like
yeah, where she just uses the same characters and goes based on how she
keep writing, Jaslyn. Don't stop writing.
Yeah, and that's what I told her too. I don't mind her doing it, and there are nights where after everything is said and done, we're calmed down, and she goes to her computer and she writes, and she can write for hours. I wish I had that kind of concentration. I have a book that I've been working on, and I had it almost done, and then lost it, and it just have not been able to pick up and start rewriting it all. So I encourage her to keep doing that. And so is fan fiction, is that what you're doing, Jaslyn, is where you write from your point of view of the characters or something? She was explaining it, and the type of writing that I used to do is nothing like that. So yeah, see, she's all over it. And so,
Callie,
yeah.
80, and Ethan, Ennis. Oh, she's got all the names.
Yeah, and that's about them. And she really likes these shows, and she really likes to write. I'm trying to encourage her to start writing her own thing. Yeah. And but I figure this is good practice for her, so that she can get kind of like the idea of what writing is all about, and then go from there. Yeah, see, basically you can make your own story with the characters in the show or in a show or movie. And so yeah, I think it's a good way to go for her, so she gets the hang of writing, and then maybe one day she'll be publishing her own set of books and go from there. So but I think we've been on for almost 2 hours. That's wild.
That's fine. We can end it here.
Yeah,
so
I
now
have to use the potty, so. Oh, she says I'm working on a Lucifer book now.
I almost want to say look up Has Been Hotel book. I probably shouldn't say that because Des will be mad at me.
Well, I know we watched the TV series Lucifer, and that was very interesting.
Love that series. This is cartoon Lucifer, but it's not meant for children. It's more geared for adults, but it's funny.
Is it?
It's bad. It's so bad, but it's good. It really it's bad. Anyway, well, Steve. Okay, one of the characters in the hotel is called Nifty, and I'm totally Nifty. I identify with that character. Nifty is a clean freak that she goes around and cleans everything. But she does, and there's like something twisted about her because she's also like she goes around stabbing people too, and so when there's this big fight between the angels and the demons, and they go tell Nifty, and they're like, "Go stab," and she goes around with the knife, stab me, stab me, stab me. And I'm like, that's
Oh boy.
totally,
And obviously,
totally me.
my daughter has seen this show or something, or
Oh, she
because she's
sings.
like,
She likes Angel Dust. Okay, Jocelyn, I won't tell her about Angel Dust. All right, so she knows exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah, she does.
Uh-oh, this is where I'm gonna get in trouble. Angel Dust. Okay, wait. Angel Dust is a great character. He's a drug addict. He's also the porn star of hell. So.
Oh boy, and she also loves the radio demon.
The radio. That's Altazair.
Oh dear Lord. Anyway, Miss
I'm
Jaslyn,
sorry, Jocelyn. I'm not getting you in trouble. I'm not getting you in trouble. I'm glad you enjoy it though. It's a good series.
Oh boy.
But see, I feel like I'm Nifty. I'm the little, yeah. And then there's a whole possible backstory to Nifty, that she might have been a 1950s housewife that went crazy and killed her husband. That's why she has blood all over her.
Wow.
I'm sorry. All right, this is a good place to end it, I guess. Speaking of which, so tomorrow we'll be on my channel and we're going to be doing Mermaid, Sirens, and Bermuda Triangle.
Yes, for sure. I hope you guys can join us tomorrow. That would be awesome. I want to thank everybody for joining us today who've come in and out. I hope you have a beautiful day. Oh, and I forgot to scroll the banner across the bottom. See, it was an off day.
Oh no, scroll. Well, we can still get it. Scroll it so we have it what it says.
So
that's right. We haven't.
Where is it now? It's actually from an Ireland podcast, and it says, "Hey warrior, keep going." It's a mental health podcast in Ireland. So I really like that. I want to share that with you. Keep that in your head this week when you are struggling and you need to just have that in power. And I didn't mean to turn that off. When you need that extra strength, keep this in your mind. And I hope to see you next week. And then the following week, depending on how Melanie's feeling. What's that?
I said there's no Thursday show next week, but right. I could still do Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. So, yep. So Tuesday, we'll be back next Tuesday, the 30th. We might come back. It all depends on how Melanie's feeling after her long flight. So we'll play the 30th by the ear, and then go from there. And then we will see you again next week. Hope to see you tomorrow. With that, much love.
And Hell in a House is a good one too, Jaslyn. That's a very good one.
Oh, I'm going to have a conversation with my children, let me tell you.
No. It's
But with that, I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow. Let me find my... oh, here we go. Bye.